What's up, Schwartz Force? Okay, I just want to jump into this video right away. So basically, as you see in the title, I'm going to teach you how to size metal bracelets for your watches, obviously without causing any damage, but also to do it the right way. So if you've sized a bracelet and then you come to find out like it's just not as comfortable or fitting your wrist as you thought it would be, then this video is for you, and I'll of course go over the different types, their bracelets, and what you'll need to adjust them. So actually, let's just jump into that. So first thing you're gonna need is a watch repair toolkit, something like this. These are very inexpensive. They run about, I don't know, 15-20 bucks or so. I will definitely link this one that I use down in the description for you. A kit like this you definitely need, trust me. If you take your watch to like a jeweler shop, they may charge you to fit the bracelet, and if you're going to spend money on that, you might as well just get the tools to do this job and many more. So I'm going to set that aside for now. Another thing that might be handy is a pair of pliers. So I highly recommend that. And then of course, spring bar removal tool. So yep, again, I'll link all this stuff down in the description. So one thing to note is that obviously wrist sizes vary, shapes and thickness. Obviously, some people may have a thinner wrist than mine, as you see here. I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist, maybe more cylindrical or flatter, or maybe more rounded. And when you put a watch on, how it sits on the wrist is going to be all determined on how you size the bracelet. So, really, the key takeaway is that you want it to fit. Let me see if I can get at an angle to where it wraps around smoothly. So you want it to wrap around evenly, but you want the clasp to be towards the middle of the underside of your wrist. Now, one of the deciding factors of this is going to be the length of the actual clasp itself and the type of clasp. So for example, this is a single deployant fold over locking clasp. Here is a double deployant butterfly clasp, so you can see. A lot shorter in terms of the distance of what is curved on the wrist, the underside of the wrist, that is. So on this one, which is a butterfly clasp, you can kind of see how I have it set to where the clasp portion is right in the middle of my wrist. Now, in order to do that, if you look at the actual bracelet, you'll see that there's way more links on the top side than there are on the bottom side. And that's just for my particular wrist shape. So actually, let me show you one more example. So this here, I added links just to kind of show you. Basically, if we put the watch on, okay, so obviously you can see how loose that is. There's a lot of space. But look at how the watch head is sitting on the top of my wrist perfectly, but the clasp is way here on this side. So obviously if we removed links from this side, well then the clasp is going to be way over here. It's going to be kind of at this weird angle. It's not going to be comfortable at all. So we actually need to remove links from this side so that way it pushes that clasp more towards the center. The other thing to keep in mind too is how far over this folds. So you can see, even though the actual clasp portion is short, underneath, I mean, it sticks out more than that first half link there. You're gonna have micro adjustments on most clasps, and so that's gonna help with getting the right fit. So you may need to, like, for example, add a link on this side, but then adjust the micro adjustment to shift it over, or vice versa. All right, so the different types of bracelets. It's gonna vary, and some of them are a little bit more of a pain to swap out. So we'll start with the easiest one. This is a Milanese mesh bracelet. Now, you'll see these little grooves on the underside. So this one's very easy to adjust. Sometimes there's a little arrow there. There's this little gap here. And all you have to do, so we're gonna take our screwdriver, we're gonna insert it in that little slot there. We're just gonna use pressure. It's gonna lift it up. Now you'll see that this portion slides. So this groove is lining up with the grooves on the actual bracelet. So once you get to the spot you need, then you're gonna fold this back over and just push down real hard, and you'll feel it click into place. So pretty easy. One of the easier ones to adjust is the Milanese mesh bracelet. So moving on, but this is a old school vintage style bracelet that has folded links. These can be a pain, especially if they're older, because dirt and grime gets under these and then it's really hard to remove. So let me get up close so you can see how those links have that folded or rolled metal piece in there. You're gonna see this little nub. There's a little spot there with a little nub. Let me show you on this side. I actually got one started, so you can kind of see how that is removable. So basically, kind of similar, you're going to take your screwdriver here, and you're going to put it into that spot there, and you're going to push up. And then you can get your pliers, and you can pull this tab out. And that's going to allow that link to come up. So that's how you remove those. And then, of course, to put them back in, just go ahead and slide it back in once you line everything up. And just pushes into place. If it's a little stubborn getting in, you can use the little mallet from your repair kit and you can kind of tap it in there. There you go. That's how you adjust the folded links. Okay, so the next type is a screw link bracelet. These are the easiest to change out. You want to use from your repair kit this little holder for the bracelet. Basically holds the bracelet in place so it's not slipping. Get your screwdriver and very carefully, you can get your pliers here. Pull out that screw. And just be careful not to scratch the metal. So that one's very easy to adjust. Those are screws. Now you will have some of these bracelets where it's a double screw, and those are definitely a pain because you have to have one screwdriver here and the other, and you're kind of rotating them one on one side while you're holding the pin of the others. Double screw bracelets are probably one of the more annoying because this tool, as you can see, it's only facing up one way. So you kind of have to be really careful when you do something like that. The other type is a push pin. So split pins are gonna be, you won't see a screw head on either side. Sometimes you see it looks like a screw, like that little slit there. So that is a split pin. These are very easy to remove. Sometimes you'll see a little arrow on the underside of the links and it'll show you which way the pin comes out. But a tool that you must get for split pins, I promise you, is this bad boy right here. If you don't have this tool, as you can see when you press it, that pin comes out. You can use the other kind of pin removal tools. It's a pain in the ass. I don't even have one because since I bought this to show you, but basically really simple. You're gonna line up the pin push part with that hole and it just pops that split pin right out, so you can kind of see where it splits and that's what holds it in place. So you pull that out, now you can adjust your bracelet. And then when you're adding links back in, same thing. Take the split pin side, put it in the hole, make sure everything's lined up. Then we use our little mallet. Just make sure it's flush. Okay, last style is a pin and collar. So kind of similar to the pin, push pin style, but it actually has a collar sleeve in the middle portion of the link. So let me show you what that looks like. So you see the pin there, and it's just a straight pin, it's not a split pin. So we can pull that out. Be very careful when you do these, okay? Because when you remove the link, right inside there is a little collar. Okay, see how it just fell out? So it's a little cylindrical tube. And what it does is this fits into the middle link and goes flush like that. And that's what puts tension. So you put the other link to fit it in there like that. And then you get your pin, you're gonna place it in there. And that tension is what's gonna hold it in place. So rather than having the split pin on one end where it's just kind of tension on the edge, it's putting the tension in the middle with that little collar sleeve. I actually need to size this bracelet, so I'll just real quick show you how I do that. So now, when I fold the clasp over, see how it's in the middle of my wrist? And the watch head is up on top. So again, for my wrist size, I usually have fewer, if not just one link on the, I guess you could say the 6 o'clock side. And then on the top of the watch is usually where I have more links. In this case, I only needed 1 and 1, like 1.5 link on here. And of course, micro adjust, I could always make that a little tighter if needed. All right, so there you go, the different types of bracelets and how to size them, and of course my tip on how to fit it correctly onto your wrist. So I hope this video was helpful, and definitely put this into practice. Let me know if you've always sized your bracelets this way, kind of knowing that tip about the longer part of the deployant clasps, or if this maybe taught you something new and now you have to go adjust a whole bunch of watch bracelets. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or if you found this helpful. I really do appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it with anyone that can benefit from it, and I can't wait to see you all at the next one. Until then, as always, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.